So let me ask you, AW, would you
Around
date
for
a
a long time.
masculine woman?
No, because I'm attracted to men.
But you wouldn't date a trans man. But you wouldn't date a trans
Well, you're
woman.
dating a person who has a vagina.
Because
That doesn't-
I have attraction
not a
based
man.
off of
So
gender.
why, let me, okay, so let me tell
You're
you.
bisexual. You're bisexual.
Hold on,
Let's
Amy.
bisexual. Bisexual.
Thank you very much.
And
He's a
can I-
bisexual man. He's not gay.
No.
I love to, I
Can I
love,
ask a-
I love to expose you people. I just love to expose
I would
you.
like to ask a question. It's a question.
All right, hold on. Let Sith ask his question, please, or her question. Excuse me. Go ahead, Sith.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you using the right pronouns. I appreciate
Really,
it.
I
Sophie?
apologize.
It's okay. We'll let it slide.
I didn't mean to. No,
A
I
whole
really
ass
didn't mean to.
mustache. No, I'm like, why are you even like? But whatever. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Anywhere, I don't think. I have a question for AW and Sif. I would like you both to explain to me when and if you have children, how you're not going to push your narrative on them.
I have a child. Lucky you.
Okay, and what do you teach your child? May I have some verbiage on all of this?
The
So-
basic of teaching my child is
Yeah.
to foster a space for expression, curiosity, development, inclusion, and acceptance of other human beings.
Child is doomed.
But when do you actually parent?
Those were just a couple of things that I do, but I parent my
That's
child
not
every single
parenting.
day.
That's catering. That is catering.
Aren't you a gay man though?
Yes.
So did you adopt a child? May I ask that, or a surrogate, or
Yeah,
had sex with a woman?
I have, but not my child is adopted.
Okay. Do you teach about being straight?
Did I what?
Do you teach anybody about being straight?
Thank you, Art.
My child knows what being straight is, but I'm
So-
not teaching him to be straight or not straight.
That's different than teaching about straight.
So you're teaching him to be like you.
No, I'm teaching him to express himself that feels genuine and to foster a space that allows him to explore that.
Please, for this live, can we not have people like speculating on other people's children? Like,
I'm not. I'm
Please.
asking an honest question because it's very pushed on.
I just, yeah, I know you're not. I just hope that nobody else is
This is
because it'd be
not
very
your life.
inappropriate.
Guys, guys.
And running with it. Let's have you all do your research on what it really is and listen to the OG transgenders and them who were trans for years and know exactly what's going on. But no, y'all want to sit on here and listen to the new trendy trans, the nowadays trans, who don't know anything about being trans. They just feel like a woman and decide to put on a dress and a wig. Some of them don't even have gender dysphoria. Some of them don't even know what a woman is. They just love to be with the trendy trans because it's trending right now and y'all just run with it. Like, y'all need to stop with the bullshit.
So,
Let SL
Sith,
talk.
So, AW.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
So
just,
you grew up with. Did your parents teach you inclusivity and all of the jumbo that you just told me that you teach your children?
yes.
Okay, and you grew up organically then to become a gay man who's okay to have sex with people that have vaginas.
From my household, yes.
Okay, and what about school? Were you taught about this in school?
No.
Okay, and you turned out just fine without it being in the school, right?
In the end, I
You
turned
feel
out
loved.
fine.
You're happy with who you are. You felt like you had
It was
an organic upbringing to get you at your point where you're at right now.
No, I would say that my family was great, but society was not.
But you're still here. You're okay. Everyone in
Yeah.
high school has a hard time, right?
Yeah, everybody has struggles.
There you go.
and
So why
relate-
do we need to have this in the education system now? If you are just the perfect example of what I'm trying to talk about here. You had supportive parents. You came up all right. You can raise your kids however you want. You can use the verbiage that you want. And it was out of the education system. You're here today. You're a happy, gay, bisexual person who is now
Not
so comfortable
bisexual.
within themselves that you're flaunting it all over TikTok. Why do
I was
our
asked
children need to be
questions.
exposed to this by perfect strangers and teachers instead of being taught handwriting or fractions or algebra, the countless things that they are taking out of the school system?
Yeah, great. So first off, I've been asked questions about my sexuality. I don't go out of my way to flaunt it, so I'm not flaunting it.
Well, you're up here advocating. Yeah, you are. Don't do that.
I'm advocating and I'm answering questions that are directed at me. So no, I'm not going out of my way to flaunt anything. I'm asking specific questions directed at me. So in terms of the school education system, I think that we can do both. We can teach the things that you talked about, reading,
Bring me up.
all of the things that children need to know to grow up to be human beings, and we can also teach them about different demographics so that children don't bully other children and certain children can feel comfortable with expressing themselves. In relationship to my experience, yes, my family did a great job at this. Society did not. And it took me until my late 20s to feel comfortable with expressing to every aspect of everyone that I know in my life who I am as an individual. So I think that teaching this in the education system will allow children that are part of different demographics that are typically discriminated against to, one, understand that it's acceptable to be part of that demographic, and for other children that aren't, to also treat those children and other people with respect and basic human dignity.
And what age do you deem appropriate to start teaching this in the education system?
I really resonate with the National Sex Education Standards curriculum. It kind of models a age appropriate concept that are building blocks that start off with at the point of teaching sexuality, more so around middle school.
What's middle school where you are? What grade, please?
6th grade.
They don't need to be teaching kids.
At 6th grade.
They don't need to be
That's
teaching
insane.
a boy to be a girl in a damn
So-
school. That doesn't make sense.
That's not
Not-
sexuality.
Let me ask you
That's
this.
not what
If
I
we
was saying.
can't get these kids
As a whole population of this planet, why do you feel that your views outweigh ours? And that your views get to be pushed down my child's throat because the government is using your ideology as a fucking pawn, and people who disagree with
So I think that my
What to teach a child in the future, irrespective of what you see, respect everyone. Do you think that that is better than going to someone and saying, this person has two mommies, and this person has two daddies, and this one has a polyamorous couple, and blah, 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 blah. Which do you think is more direct, waste less time? Because I mean, we teach basic respect in everyday human life. So why do we have to circumvent it your way, where we have to be teaching people about the so-called different demographics? Why is it that we have to take your way of this intricate level? Because the answer you gave me wasn't really an answer. You just went on about accepting people again, and that's not my question.
Yeah, I think that spending an extra couple of words to explain the differences of demographics isn't that complex.
Why is that a teacher's job and not a
That bullying is going to go away is ridiculous.
And that's
Is
your good way.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You need,
two parts.
everybody needs to stop pretending that we can just make bullying go away and this world is just going to be this super happy place and everybody's going to get what they want.
Thank you. I was gonna say
You
that.
need to teach your children how to emotionally regulate, and people are not going to like them based on the shape of their nose and how tall they are, and that's okay. Those aren't their friends.
I said
I have one
I just
simple
want to
question.
say,
Muted Yusuf. Go
I'm
ahead.
coming for AW again. I'm sorry, because you said my favorite word when you described the curriculum that you think you deem appropriate, and you said inclusivity. So I ask this question often, and don't get all heated. I'm not lumping in this community with the LGBTQ plus 2S. But what happens when MAPS gets enough funding and they decide that MAPS deserves to be included, and that inclusivity, according to you, your words exactly, should be taught in schools? Are we going to accept that in our schools then? Is that where we're headed? Is that the long-term agenda here? What's your thoughts on that with inclusivity?
Yeah, I think that inclusivity of demographics that aren't harmful to other human beings is always a good thing to advocate for.
Are you saying MAPS is not harmful?
Let me repeat. I think inclusivity of all demographics that are
Answer
not
the
harmful.
question.
to
Let me
human
ask the
beings.
question. Do you think that that community is harmful? Do you think that that community is harmful?
100% yes.
Okay.
I think teaching my children they, them, and that they don't know who they are is harmful. So that's why I don't want that
Why is
included
it
in their
harmful to teach your
education.
children to accept themselves?
Exactly.
So why do you think that
I'll
your
drop
view?
Sophie, I'll come up later.
Why do you think that your view that the MAP community is harmful is more important than the view of the MAP community that they're not harmful? It's the same argument. It is the exact same argument.
Can I respond?
People should be allowed to have a say in what their children are taught.
It seems like
Please
you're
let
almost
Addison
advocating
respond.
for the MAP community when we can objectively measure why they're harmful to other human beings. Allowing your child to express themselves as they, them is actually a beneficial thing and can be proven to be beneficial.
No, we can objectively measure why it's a bad thing to confuse your child and act like gender and sex are not a synonymous term.
Do you have a source for that?
Yeah, you can look at the mental health of these people across the board and see that it is not stable.
So that's
Wait,
not a
Curly,
source.
I have a question. Do you think not
What?
teaching your child these things is going to mean like they're just going to be straight for the rest of their life?
No, I don't.
So then if they're going to be confused later on down the road, why not?
But you
at
don't
least let
know
them
that, so why
You don't know that. What I'm saying is
I'm done with my point. You absolutely can. This is why this ideology does not need to be taught in schools, because you are taking kids who are impressionable, they are malleable, and they don't have informed consent, can't have informed consent. They don't have the proper tools needed to understand any of these concepts to make decisions based on what they see to be popular, trending. Oh, this person's getting attention. I would like that same attention. I don't feel loved at home. Therefore, I feel like this will be the route I could go. Maybe I can.
Just asking if there is any such proof.
I think we need an increase in the amount of
Yes.
bullying.
Yes, we can look into
now that you
places
say
like
that, I think bullying builds character as well.
Me too.
Yeah. Before you cite the Neverlands or
see the age appropriate concepts of it. So sexuality would not be taught till later, and like intercourse aspects would not be taught way later, like
That's wrong.
middle
That's
school.
wrong.
Nate, can I drop you for just 2 minutes for SL?
Yeah, look up the book Long Boy. That was pulled from an elementary school in I think
the curriculum?
Florida. It was in the library of the school.
I can see the distinction.
I don't care if it's part of the curriculum or not. AW, look into the book.
Well, this is
Look
It's
into
in
the
the
book.
library. Any child can take it out. Therefore, it's part of the
Exactly.
school, and therefore it's
I'm in
part of what they
agreement.
can see.
Most people are in agreement with removing any type of sexually explicit books or stuff like that from libraries. That's fine.
Show you the picture. This is from. Hold on. This is Grand Prairie, Alberta. Okay, this is an elementary school without parental consent. The topics are French kissing, fantasizing, masturbating, oral, vaginal, or anal sex without a condom / dental dam, using the same condom / dental dam twice, using needles, French kissing, dual masturbation, massaging, sexting.
What was this?
It's in Grand Prairie, Alberta.
What grade?
Elementary. 12 years old. No parental consent. None. Daughter came home to my best friend, told her mom that she learned about a dental dam. My girlfriend said, what's a dental dam? And she showed her the picture. And it's pretty foul. So that's okay?
What's it?
Without parental consent, it's a picture of a vagina with a, if I work in dental, if you know what a dental dam is, that goes on your face. It's basically the same piece of nitrile that you would put to expose certain teeth and isolate them over the cooch to give proper oral sex so you don't get herpes or warts or HPV or whatever on your face.
They're gonna think that that's good so that the kids don't get any
STDs. Of course it should be called.
That's what's coming next, Estelle. They're gonna think
so you tell me how comfortable my kid's gonna be when he goes to school the next day with his old ass teacher explaining to him what dual masturbation is. You give me some verbiage, you give me a lesson how that's gonna be appropriately taught to a child by their teacher, and that's okay.
Nobody up here is advocating for that at that level.
You are to an extent.
But you're not admitting to me. Like you're so.
I'm admitting I don't want that in schools.
Exactly, and I'm telling you that we're all telling you that it's happening though, and this is the issue. You're blinded to the fact that these are the realities, and that's why these parents are up here, and we're furious. And you're saying that inclusivity and all this needs to be taught. It doesn't, and it is. And people say, it's not being taught. It's not being taught. Example after example after example after example are being given, and it's not being taken seriously from. I hate to say sides, but from your perspective, you're on the opposite side of my beliefs, and this is insanity.
No, I've literally stated that I follow the National Sex Education Standards curriculum, which is not anything that you stated. And I'm in favor of any school system pushing any type of curriculum of the nature that you said that is against what I'm reading in terms of Virginia. There is consent that is required. So if a teacher or a school did that, then I would hope that the school or teacher would be reprimanded in the appropriate way. I'm in favor of all of that.
The teachers are so uncomfortable, they don't want to teach this stuff. My girlfriend ran right into the principal and flipped her fucking noodle. And what happened was they sent out the consent for grade 6. And the teachers were like, the principal said, we don't know, we don't even want to be teaching this stuff. I didn't even know what a dental dam was until 2 years ago when this got introduced into the curriculum, and I'm being forced to teach it. Forced to teach it. Her exact words.
Yeah.
And I literally agreed. I don't know why this is a point of contention.
Well, because you act like it's not happening. That's what we're trying to do.
This is what happens.
I haven't once stated that. Like, nobody's talking to
me.
Addison, listen. This is what happens. We say something's happening, and the left turns around and goes, that's not happening.
I didn't say that.
I'm not saying you.
No, I didn't. I asked you to bring up.
I'm not saying you.
Well, why aren't we having a conversation with me?
I am saying in general.
He did say the left. He said the left. He wasn't specifically saying you.
I didn't say,
but that's my point. Is why aren't we talking to the person here and asking me? Like, I'm agreeing with all of you on this specific thing. So I don't understand why we continue to keep stating
see where this sex education leads to?
Because are you going to turn around now?
The curriculum that
are you going to turn around? Are you going to turn around now and hold your community responsible for this type of behavior?
No, because that's not my community. I will call out people.
This is the problem.
I don't.
You'll say yeah, it's bad, but go ahead.
Claims.
You go.
I will call out
forget it.
I will call out an individual that's part of my community that's pushing certain curriculum that I think is not age appropriate. Yes, but I will not make broad claims about the community as if they're somehow all pushing this narrative of.
It's a general statement. It's a good portion of the community who is pushing for this. Absolutely.
No, they are not. That is incorrect. I have not come across one person that's part of my community that wants to teach a child in kindergarten about dental dams.
Yeah, not that specifically. We can be general about it.
Yes, okay. Every single person I've talked to has been in agreement with me in terms of the National Sex Education Standards.
Can I ask you this then? What do you think of drag queen shows in schools?
I think if they're reading a story in appropriate clothing, it's fine. Like, all of these topics require context and nuance. So I don't make broad claims because I think that creates more division than actually gets to a point to where I'm agreeing with a lot of what you were all saying. So if we make these broad claims, then nobody's allowed to get to the point to say, hey, yeah, that's a little weird or extremely off.
Can you define appropriate clothing, though? Can you define appropriate clothing?
As long as they're not showing excessive portions of their body or their skin.
What's excessive?
Like, I think showing like your arms and your legs is fine, but I think when you're showing tons of like cleavage or having like really short shorts that is getting closer towards your genitalia area, I think that would be inappropriate. But if you're fully clothed, wearing a dress, wearing makeup, and you're reading a story to a child, I have no problem with that.
In a school?
In a school, if there's consent, like meaning that parents get a choice to do this and it's extracurricular.
So can you see how that can be extremely confusing to a child? Let's say in like first grade.
I think that a child recognizing that any person can express themselves however they want is a good thing.
Oh, so a man, right?
Put me back up, Sophie. There's the dental dam.
Estelle. A full-grown man comes in with a full face of makeup, looking very cartoonish or whatever you want to call it. That wouldn't be confusing to a first grader.
So first graders have seen plays. They've seen other people in different types of clothing. They've seen makeup. They watch TV, and they have.
I have a second grader and a third grader, and if I can tell you right now, if my
Are you comparing me to a woman in a play?
A second and third grader, if they saw a drag queen right now, they would be mind blown.
No, we're talking about drag, which is performative. I'm comparing a performance to another performance.
Oh, okay. I thought. Never mind. I'm sorry.
you're
So
good.
my second and third grader, if they saw drag queen right now with even with full clothing on, they would be mind blown and they'd be very confused.
I'm sure they would, and it's very easy to explain that because I have friends that have children around that age group that have seen Drag Story Hour, and afterwards they're very curious. And you know what the questions look like? Is that a man or a woman? And that you answer, oh, that's a man. Why are they dressed? They're just putting this on to do a show. It's to perform.
That does not
Cool.
belong in a child's
And then they
school
walk
in
away.
front of children. It doesn't belong there. I don't care how much you're going to say it. It doesn't belong
I
there.
gave context with it. I don't think it should be required. No.
When
Like,
it
that would be
comes to
silly.
children, they don't think of these things unless they're told these things. They don't even imagine it. Okay. If they have a question, they will ask a question. But I guarantee you, I have yet to come across a toddler who is not indoctrinated by the schools to come up to me and ask me questions that pertain to like drag queens or the community itself. I've yet to experience that no child will ever on their own, unless they're told, will think of or speak of these things ever.
Yeah, they don't ask questions until they see it. The same as if a child went and saw a play with
So
somebody
why-
wearing a
why
massive
can't we just
wig.
let the children-
Why does
why
this person have very big hair?
Why
Oh, they're
can't
wearing a
we
wig.
have
This is a
no,
performance.
this is not about costume. This is not about
Drag is a costume. Yes, it is.
drag is also a sexual adult performance.
No, it is not. It's not explicitly sexual.
Oh yes,
When
it
we
is.
go to a
Absolutely.
drag
I've been to
performance,
many
what
drag
do they do?
performances. In the drag performances that I prefer, there is no stripping. It's literally them just dressed up,
They don't
wearing
always
makeup,
strip,
and they
though.
sing.
No.
No,
Yeah, they can do.
They don't
They can do
dance
sexual
provocatively.
actions. Sexual
no, the
actions
ones that I
within
see,
the
they just dance and sing. The same
And-
as if you took
and do
your child to a concert.
work and shake their everything. Come on.
I have a
The ones that
question. I have a
prefer,
question.
It's not sexual. No, it's
I have a
performative.
question. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, I took my kids to the mall. We went into a restaurant. The host, who was a man, was dressed like a man, looked like a man. His fingernails had a full acrylic set with like it was like decorated like a woman would. My kids, when we sat down, asked me, "Mommy, why does that boy have nails?" I said, "That boy has nails because that boy likes nails, but that is not appropriate in our